Welcome to News Breakdown. In this series, we'll be looking at if it's possible for humanity to colonize the moon. However, we'll be looking at what will possibly happen if we do colonize the moon. And the first option we are looking at is moon mining. Appropriate mining is a high-tech activity that requires existent manpower to operate. With no manpower on the moon, mining is impossible. This pushes humanity towards the need to colonize the moon. At the very least, if colonization is not for settling, then it should be for mining. Regardless of the scale of colonization, humanity's basic needs must be met on the moon. This is besides developing capabilities that allow for effective mining. Those needs and capacities include water sources, food, oxygen and carbon dioxide for human and plant breathing, shelter, and as well as space laws. So to start off with, we'll look at the water sources. What challenges are faced by humanity if they were to colonize the moon in regards to water sources? Water is the base of all life. With no water, survival on the moon is impossible. It is also the basic condition for food, farming, and generating electricity. Power stations spin their turbines using evaporated water after all. All efforts to mine the moon should be forgotten if water cannot be found. Fortunately though, the moon is abundant in water. It is abundant in both underground and surface water. This is important because underground water will be harder to uncover than surface water. According to estimates by NASA, the surface of the moon could have at least 600 million tons of water. While not enough for large moon population, this is enough for mining inhabitants. The moon also lacks an atmosphere. Where there is no air, this means that evaporation of the moon water is impossible. This is an advantage since there is no water loss into space. So as you can see from the first part of this series, we will obviously have to overcome the fact that we will require water if we were to colonize the moon, but according to reports by NASA, there is sufficient water on the moon to sustain a mining colony on the moon. We will look further into what other requirements that will be required, such as food, as well as oxygen and carbon dioxide for growing plants and shelter and things like that later on in the series. What do you guys think? Please leave your comments below, hit the subscribe button, and follow us on all our social media channels. Thank you for watching News Breakdown.